Welcome, everybody. We're here for another Brookside's story. The story of Brookside Christian Reformed Church here on the southeast side of Grand Rapids, Michigan. My name is Quinn Schultz. I'm a member here, and I am with one of our illustrious members who does a lot of hard work. Meaghan, that's not Meaghan, Meaghan Musch. Hi, Meaghan.
Hi.
She has the honor of doing the second time video with me. No one else in the church has yet except Pastor Paul.
Really? I'm the only other one?
You're the only other one. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's great. And it's important too because you do such important work at the church. Tell us about it.
I am responsible for all of the children's ministries, birth to 5th grade. So that means nursery, birth to age 2, Little Lambs is 2 to 3. I have children in worship, which is pre-K to 2nd grade, and then I have Kingdom Kids, which is 3rd through 5th. I'm getting them all confused, but that's a lot to remember.
It's a lot to remember, and it's not just those particular groups, but that you do with whatever is appropriate for those ages in terms of faith development.
Yep.
But it's also other things that you're involved in, like...
So I handle all of the summer VBS, which we had a great VBS.
That's Vacation Bible School.
Vacation Bible School. We had a great VBS True North this year in June. We served about 120 kids. I had over 100 volunteers throughout the week and in pre-planning and all of that. And we had a wonderful event, and then we're getting ready.
Just on that one.
Okay.
How many of those kids were not from the church?
I'd say easily half, if not more.
So it's neighborhood outreach.
Yep, it's a great neighborhood outreach, and not just the kids that were here attending VBS, but also I had volunteers that just saw our sign, just happened to catch the link on their social media, and they're not members here. We had some
and they were
kids,
helping.
Yeah, they came and they
Wow.
volunteered.
Great story.
And then same thing. One of our members who has volunteered with VBS for many years, Sarah Schaefer, her neighbors, they had I think 6 kids, and 2 of them were volunteering and 4 of them were attending. So a lot of people were here that don't normally attend our church, and it's great because they get to see not only the ministries that we have to offer, but also our building and what our staff has to offer, and that is a great way. Getting them in the door the first time is the hardest thing. So, it's a great event.
And then you were going to add something after VBS.
We're getting ready for our summer block party, and I'll be responsible for scheduling our volunteers for the stations there. And
we do this every year.
This is our 2nd year. Last year it was hot, and we had a successful block party regardless. I learned a few things. We need pop-up shelters for our volunteers that are standing out there in the direct sun. So I got to make sure to drop off a pop-up tent for some of those. But yeah, we're getting excited.
Don't make it sound too bad. You're going to scare away volunteers.
It was a lot of sun, so we got to give them protection.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We learned from last year's experience as to what we need to do for this year. So the big learn was shelter.
How many people attended last year, apart from the volunteers?
Oh, hundreds. And a lot of people right off the streets. Again, this is not a Brookside block party. It is the Brookside community block party. It is open to anybody who sees our sign, anybody who lives in the neighborhood. We're very fortunate in the sense that we are on a main busing route. So people have that station right out there, the bus station stop that they're waiting at, and they see the things that we're advertising, and it's on a banner out there right now. So
you get a sense from this, I hope, that Meaghan Musch is a dynamo. She has so much energy. In fact, just coming here to the nursery to interview her, I was trying to run behind her as she zaps from one spot to another within the church. I'm
normally chasing my kids, and they're a lot faster than I am.
Yeah,
so.
Well, hey, take me into account. I'm not exactly a kid age anymore, but seriously, she's a dynamo. But for what she does, which is so important for the life of the church, the future of this church and the Church Universal, she needs a lot of co-workers, volunteers, not that have to be involved in everything, but to be involved in certain parts of it, right?
Yep.
And so volunteers make it go. Now, what are the areas that you most need volunteers in?
So we're going to be kicking off our fall season here in mid-September. We typically, for our children's ministries, go on a school calendar. So we have a fall season that kicks off right after school starts in September, and we'll go through mid-May, and then we take a couple of weeks off at the beginning and the end of that. And we also have a summer season. Summer season's different. We're in the gym. It's video-based. I say if you can read, you can lead in that class, because the programming that I've used now for the last 2 years is script-based. It literally gives you exactly what you need to say. Most people kind of read it and then ad-lib from it, but it's video-based. It's really, really easy. Now, in the school year, we have 4 classes, which makes it more difficult because 4 classes, more volunteers. I have nursery. We have a very small nursery group for this fall. I think we only have 2 kids.
We don't have enough, huh?
I think we only have
kids?
2 kids that
Wow.
are going to be of nursery age. Now, that doesn't count guests and visitors and things like that, but our nursery has always been where I get the most amount of volunteers, because who doesn't want to hang out with little babies? They're a blast, you know. It's laid back. You can just kind of, sometimes you're just sitting here literally rocking a baby, and it's where I like to be too. But
that's not your biggest need.
It's not my biggest need. I need people in my 2 other older classes. Little Lambs also has a need, but again, volunteers between Little Lambs and nursery, I've been able to kind of transition them between the 2. So that's really helpful. But my children in worship, you talk about a dynamo leader. I am losing one of my dynamo children in worship leaders this year. After many, many years, Linda Averill is going to be stepping back some due to life changes and whatnot. And that means that I have basically a hole that takes up. She led 1 week a month, but she also helped out with all of the crafts. And she's just somebody that, she's irreplaceable in that sense, but I'm very excited that there's hopefully going to be somebody else coming in with new energy for these children. This is my pre-K through 2nd grade class. They're a lot of energy.
Say a little bit about what's required of somebody volunteering in that.
So our children in worship programming, again, it does kind of have a script. It's more of an outline, but they have little wooden characters that they teach with, and it's a lot of fun. In all of our classes, there is a lesson and then either a craft or an activity. For the children in worship, you're talking 4-year-olds through like 7-year-olds, basically. So
but the point is, it's pre-programmed.
It's
they have the
pre-planned.
materials.
The materials are there. I will be, if Linda isn't able to help out with crafts at all, I will be the one responsible for getting all the crafts, supplies, and everything together. And then it's literally teaching the lesson. So we get them all together around the circle and we calm them down, and then we go through the lesson, and then the activity, the craft, typically ties into the lesson in a pretty obvious way in that age group, because you can't go too high level with 4-year-olds.
What age does someone need to be a volunteer for you? Because some of you may have children that you could interest in this, and 1 day a month perhaps they leave worship early with the younger kids, and they get to volunteer.
Yep.
How old do you think they have to be?
High school.
Okay.
I will take high school. High school age, I tend to lean more towards like the seniors and college age kids to lead, but I can do it with a 16, 17-year-old if they have the right energy. They have to be able to control kids. So I don't necessarily put some of the quieter people in those leader roles. The only way the church grows is if you have good children's programs, because you don't bring in young families without good children's programs. And young families are great because they stay for a very long time. I'm not discouraging the older folks that don't have young kids from coming to Brookside or joining, but
or helping,
because my volunteer base has been a lot of the retirees for a long time. but at the same time, they don't have the same commitment to the church that somebody who needs their children to have that moment with, Christ does. They have it's a different experience coming to church without children versus coming to church with children. And it's a huge level of trust to give your kids to somebody else. And so if you have a robust, active children's program from birth on up, you do tend to get more younger families, and that grows your membership. And
our pitch to you is to help volunteer. And the more volunteers we can get to help with the youth of Brookside Church here, Southeast Grand Rapids, the less work each person has to do. And it's fun. The kids are great. In fact, you can even test this out by going to one of the sessions just to stop in for 5 minutes or so on a Sunday. And the easiest way to do it is to go to the gym.
Yep, and we've got one more week of being in the gym, and then we'll actually have a couple of weeks off. But on
so you can
this
just go to
coming
the
Sunday,
gym and
we will be in the
take
gym.
a look. We'll get this video up right away. So, and if you somewhere the Holy Spirit seems to be talking with you about this would be something that maybe you should do, please consider that and contact Meaghan. In fact, it's easy to contact her most Sundays because you'll see her just before the service or during the service. If you head where the kids' programs are, she's there running around.
Yeah, I tend to start the mornings in my office getting everything set up. As people start getting here, I come down to nursery because they're my earliest volunteers. And then I did miss it last week because Nicole was on top of it. But I'm normally, Pastor Nicole was on top of it. I am normally the one that goes in, leads the kids out. But she was Johnny on the spot, and I missed it. And I went down there with my suckers, and I had my 6-year-old sitting next to me, and she goes, "Mommy, I think they're already in the gym." And I said, "Oh, no, not yet." And sure enough, I went down to the gym, and all the kids were there. I was like, "I'm
she
sorry."
was on top of it. That was great. So think about it. We would really appreciate your input on this. Meaghan's doing a great job, and she will help lead you and take care of things.
I give you all the tools you need.
All the tools you need.
There's no homework into being a volunteer in the children's group. Outside of if you are leading, I try to give you the lesson ahead of time to let you look through it, or you just get here a little bit early and read through it that morning. It's not a hard ask. It's a lot of fun. You get to play with kids birth through, 5th grade. There's a little bit more on that older group just because the kids, they're becoming more independent. They get a little bit squirrelier, but there's nothing hard about it.
And if you want to contact Meaghan through email or phone, I don't want to give that info on
it's on the Brookside website too. You can literally just go to the staff page, click on my name, and it will open your web browser.
There you go.
My business card sits up at the front desk. You can always ask somebody and just say, "Hey, how do I get in contact with Meaghan?" They'll give you my email, my phone number, any of that. It goes right to my personal cell phone, so you might hear kids screaming in the background because I do have 3 kids.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching. This is all about Brookside's story, Brookside Christian Reformed Church, southeast side of Grand Rapids, at the corner of 36th and Kalamazoo. We have worship Sunday mornings at 10, and then most Sunday evenings, if it's not a holiday or something, at 6 p.m. as well.
Children's services are only during the 10 a.m. service. I do like to make sure people know that because if you come to the night services, we do not staff any of our children's groups.
So thanks for watching again. Please come if you haven't been to the church before. Some of the best preaching and worship in town.
And I think some of the best children's services. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Throw that out. Excellent. Thank you for saying that. So thanks again, everybody. Meaghan, thanks for your work.
Thanks for
it's a blessing
having
to
me
have
a second time. I feel very blessed. I asked you to meet with me and have this interview, but I didn't realize I was going to be the only repeat.
So far.
Now I'm feeling special other than Paul.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you.